Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm Aliyah Martin. In the headlines, construction to begin on new marina at Cabritz in November. Construction, tourism and agriculture to stimulate economic growth. And government creates opportunities for business expansion. The details of the headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. Minister for Finance, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, has presented the 2023 to 2024 National Budget Address under the theme, Resetting to Ensure the Judicious Use of Government's Limited Resources. Dr. McIntyre presented a budget in the amount of $1,234,524,036 at the third meeting of the first session of the 11th Parliament. The construction of a marina at Cabritz is set to begin in November 2023. The marina has been a point of focus for government over the years, as plans for its construction has been under discussion. Dr. McIntyre says this marina is a fulfillment of a promise made to citizens in the 2020 to 2021 budget address.
In the 2020-21 budget address, government announced its intention to construct a marina in the Cabritz as part of our development plans for the North and indeed for the entire country. We also indicated at that time that work would commence on this project within the next 2 years. Mr. Speaker, I am happy to report to the House and the people of Dominica that the government has signed an agreement for the construction of a marina at the Cabritz. The feasibility and environmental studies, as well as the designs, have been completed. We have been assured that construction of the marina will begin by November this year.
When completed, the marina will boast of commercial spaces to be leased to business owners to serve visitors.
The marina will provide dedicated slips for yachts with a length of up to 60 feet, as well as flexible spacing for berthing, super yachts, a repair yard, fuel farm, customs house, administrative building, and commercial spaces to be leased to businesses desirous of offering goods and services to visitors.
Dr. McIntyre says as government recognizes the importance and economic benefits of marine tourism, a marina will improve the country's ability to provide quality experiences to visitors.
Recognizing the potential of marine tourism, we are actively pursuing the commencement of the construction of the marina in Portsmouth, a project that will greatly enhance our appeal to yachting enthusiasts and contribute to our stayover arrival. This project will improve our capabilities and visitor experience for those who seek the enhanced services that this marina will provide. Mr. Speaker, we are focusing on preparing our people to be better able to deliver the services that this industry demands. While government continues to work on putting in place the necessary infrastructure, visitor experience also depends on the service that we deliver as a people. It has to begin at our ports, continue with our taxi service at our hotels, restaurants, and guest houses, our vendors and how they present themselves and products, and how we interact with the tourists on our streets.
The marina, in addition to works ongoing at the Douglas Charles Airport and the construction of the international airport, will assist government in increasing access to the country, which will in turn boost visitor arrivals and the tourism sector. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, estimates that Dominica's economy grew by 6.9% in 2021 and 5.7% in 2022. Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre says this strong performance was mainly due to an increase in construction activity, a rebound in the tourism industry, and substantial rise in agricultural output.
This is indeed a significant achievement, given the lingering effects of COVID-19 and the far-reaching consequences of the Russia-Ukraine war. Growth of roughly 4.7% is projected for 2023, fueled in large part by major ongoing investments in agriculture, tourism, and construction. Mr. Speaker, during fiscal year 2022-2023, central government's fiscal position improved owing to the economic growth and performance, plus our concerted efforts to reduce expenditure and increase collection of tax areas. At the end of fiscal year 2022-2023, central government reflected a primary balance surplus of 0.9% of GDP. That is, following primary deficits of 5.8% and 5.5% of GDP at the end of fiscal year 2020-2021 and fiscal year 2021-2022.
The finance minister says while government has achieved much, there is much more work to be done to strengthen government's fiscal position, including reducing the national debt in order to continue on the path to fiscal resilience. Meanwhile, Dr. McIntyre says based on the many investments that government has made and continues to make, one can only conclude that the Labour Party administration is fully committed to the sustainable development of the economy and the growth and empowerment of the Dominican people.
We are creating an abundance of opportunities for new sustainable jobs and for the expansion of businesses. Our small businesses continue to receive significant technical and financial support from this government. Last year, we fully operationalized the one-stop shop at the small business unit, and businesses have already begun to receive greater technical support, including training in operational management, marketing, and financial management. The one-stop shop is particularly valuable for small businesses as it provides access to a range of services and expertise all in one place.
134 small business owners have received training, giving them a better awareness on legal business ownership structures. So far, 96% of them have already formalized their business registration, while a number of them have received certification for their products by the Bureau of Standards. This means these businesses are now in a position to offer their products for sale at the supermarkets. Several opportunities have also been provided for small businesses to showcase their services and products, network, gain new customers, and secure new market opportunities.
These included a business-to-business forum held at the end of August last year, the Tea Village Creole in the Botanic Gardens last October 2022, and the Health and Wellness Small Business Trade Show at the Windsor Park Forecourt in June this year. Decentralizing training. Presently, most of the training for small businesses are delivered in Roseau. This limits the opportunity for participation of small businesses in other parts of the country. From this fiscal year, we will decentralize more of our training and mentoring activities. This will facilitate the certification of more businesses and an increase in the number of market-ready products in the country.
Government is also poised to address concerns of small business owners over lack of adequate space from which they operate and expand. Government has allocated $1.5 million in the budget to lease selected buildings to provide sufficient space for rent to business owners. As of June 30, 2023, Aid Bank has approved 277 loans totaling $16.5 million.
The service sector accounted for 133 loans valued at $5.5 million. The tourism sector received 28 loans valued at $5.4 million. The transportation sector received 26 loans totaling $2.2 million. The agriculture sector accounted for 80 loans amounting to $2.1 million, while 10 loans valued at $1.3 million were given to business engaged in manufacturing.
Over the last 12 months, government has also provided small grants to 130 small businesses. With all of these investments in small business, the minister says it is anticipated that there will be more local goods and services for domestic consumption and exports, more new jobs, the elevation of many more small businesses into medium and large businesses, further wealth creation, and ultimately a greater contribution to the sector, to the economy. 5 fundamental pillars have been identified for a reset within the government service. A national reset, as articulated by Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, was needed in the context of the new global uncertainties ahead of the realities in which the country must now operate.
More effective governance. Strong governance is critical to the reset. Therefore, we will ensure that the following is in place: stronger oversight of the implementation of government's projects and programs, become more accountable to and in touch with the needs of our citizens, modernization of the electoral system, and reform of the justice system, public service modernization and transformation.
Dr. McIntyre says we must change the way in which we operate as a nation in order to sustain the investments and gains we have made and to help us maneuver the numerous challenges confronting the world.
We will, A, implement measures to improve delivery of service to the public, maximize the human resources already available in the public service for greater productivity and efficiency. Retool interns under the National Employment Program with additional skills such as digital skills. Digitalize more services and systems and improve public communication and awareness. Greater focus on the productive sector, including the allocation of more of government's resources to projects and programs to facilitate sustainable economic growth and increase the number of permanent jobs available in the country.
The transformation will also place emphasis on stronger social safety nets and central government finances.
Strengthen social protection with a focus on the safeguarding of the vulnerable, particularly senior citizens and the differently abled. Reform of our education system and enhancing the health system and programs focusing on prevention, particularly with non-communicable diseases. Ensure financial stability. Mr. Speaker, a strong and sustainable fiscal position is required to adequately respond to the needs of our citizens and ensure economic stability. Therefore, the reset will focus on rationalized public expenditure, debt sustainability, and increased revenue.
All of these are essential prerequisites to securing a resilient Dominica, ensuring that the country can withstand external shocks and climatic impacts in a very volatile global environment. Government continues to invest heavily in the development of the agriculture sector as the ministry strides towards the goal of contributing $700 billion to the GDP by 2030. Octavia Prosper reports.
Presently, agriculture contributes $274 million to Dominica's GDP. The goal is to develop a resilient agriculture and fishery sector that becomes the leading contributor to economic growth, contributing at least $700 million to the GDP by 2030. The goal is fully aligned with the main objective of the OEC's Food and Agriculture Systems Transformation FAST strategy, which is geared at reducing the food import bill by 25% by 2025. The Minister for Finance says Dominica's agriculture plan for 2030 focuses on 3 components.
As was articulated in the last budget address, our Agriculture 2030 plan focuses on 1. Increasing production of agricultural produce, livestock, horticulture, and fishing to eliminate the need for imports and to increase our exports. 2. Enhancing the Nature Island brand and expand market share locally, regionally, and internationally. And 3. Increasing agro-processing output to add value to our agricultural produce.
To achieve the 2030 goals, government has increased its investment in all 3 components of the plan for 2030.
The first component, that is increasing production, is being addressed by the Ministry of Agriculture, while components 2 and 3 are dealt with by the Ministry of Trade. Mr. Speaker, to achieve the 2030 goal, government has decided to increase its investment in all 3 components of the 2030 plan. To support production, the Ministry of Agriculture budgetary allocation increased from $40.5 million in fiscal year 2021-2022 to $55 million in fiscal year 2022-2023. This year, the ministry allocation is proposed at $56.2 million.
Dr. McIntyre says plans to increase the production of agriculture produce, livestock, horticulture, and fishing has already been implemented.
To support the substitution of food imports, we have begun the expansion of strategic crops such as white potato. To achieve this goal, 174 farmers cultivated 55 acres of white potatoes, yielding a harvest of 601,517 pounds, representing 68% of our annual imports. It is our intention to achieve an 80% self-sufficiency rating in the production of white potatoes. We will also implement an import substitution strategy for leafy vegetables, tomatoes, onions, sea moss, pork, chiffon, rabbit, meat, mutton, poultry, prawns, and tilapia.
The $13 million tissue culture laboratory in Portsmouth is nearing completion. Special thanks were extended to the People's Republic of China for the donation.
When completed, the lab will provide for the rapid multiplication of high-quality disease-free planting material, which will support the expansion of target crops and improve the resiliency of our agriculture sector. We express our thanks to the government of the People's Republic of China and to the Chinese Agricultural Technical Mission for making this possible.
A technical assistance agreement with the government of the Republic of Cuba was also signed. Under this agreement, government will receive 20 technical specialists to provide technical support in tree crops and livestock expansion programs at an estimated cost of $800,000.
Thanks, Octavia, for that report. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
I love the freedom when I'm out there. Simply put, the worries from shore, none of that out there. And it's my daily bread. I learned it from my dad. My dad is one of the senior guys here who catch the biggest fish around here. And he's top with the red snappers. It's a family thing. I'm the only one fishing right now in the family. Just keeping it going. I enjoy bringing them up, man. Sometimes you have a yellowfin tuna, 400 pounds. Man, let me tell you, that's just a joy out there. I enjoy going out there and just holding the big fish. I don't lift weights, I lift fish. The morning of my fishing trip, I would get up, make a little spice tea. Then I come down here. I have my GPS, which most fishermen are supposed to have that. Normally I prepare the day before, because whenever you go out there, you must have ice. Ice is a must for preservation of the fish. So I always make sure I have everything the day before. My fish represents me, and I bring good quality fish ashore simply because the restaurants themselves, they have to show a quality product. Tourism and agriculture go hand in hand. That's what I think We're all connected. It's like a big machine, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it. My name is Brandon Carlisle, and tourism is my business.
Welcome back. Government remains committed to improving access to farms around the island by continuing the rehabilitation of feeder and farm access roads. Kavya John reports.
Over $6 million is being invested for the rehabilitation of the Shatwell Feeder Road. A ceremony was held on Monday morning to mark the commencement of this project. This project is being undertaken on the government's quest to rehabilitate feeder access roads through the 11th EDF Big Envelope State Building Contract. 2 work contracts have been awarded and signed as Lot 1 valued at over $3 million to Emil Gadakan Efil Limited with an estimated duration of 4 months. The road will span from the end of Pishley for 1,005 meters. The proposed works will include demolition and clearance, pavement and drainage, excavation and earthworks for slope stabilization, and demolition of 3 existing culverts and the construction of a new single-cell concrete culvert. Lot 2 from the Bellevue-Chope end is valued at over $2 million and was awarded to Offshore Civil and Marine Inc. for the completion of a 2.17-meter span of road. The proposed works will include the excavation and earthworks for pavement and road widening, and the removal and reinstallation of an existing water main supply line from the center of the roadway to the left-hand side.
Under the 11th EDF State Building Contract, all the resources were committed to the rehabilitation of feeder roads. So far, we have rehabilitated 8 feeder roads all across the country. Shatwell is different, and it posed some particular challenges. But we had, at the end of the day, to ensure that Shatwell Feeder Road was rehabilitated and will be rehabilitated. We have over $6 million, Eastern Caribbean dollars, committed to the rehabilitation of the Shatwell Feeder Road.
The rehabilitation of the Shatwell Feeder Road is significant not only with respect to agriculture production, as it will also be utilized as an alternative route for the south of the island. This as an alternative route will be necessary to accommodate the construction works for the Lubia to Bagatelle Road. Director of Agriculture, Mr. Ricky Brumant, says this road will be a major benefit to farmers of the south.
Our farmers are very hardworking. Our farmers produce the food for our tables. Our farmers bring foreign exchange into the country, and of course adds to livelihoods and income generation. And as such, no matter how long it is another important component in the scheme of road rehabilitation and road development. I know we've done this across the country. We've done that in La Plaine and Wesley and Woodfordale, and it fits squarely into the ministry's actions to ensure our programs are delivered to the people of the country. And this is a new one for us, and we will continue to add to them. We will continue to interface with our farmers and work with our stakeholders.
8 work contracts were signed for works in the agriculture regions, valued at over 20 million EC dollars. Works have been completed on all 8 of these road segments, namely Middle Ridge at Calibishi, Bopla at Paybush, Mango Gutter at Wesley, Formy at Cassie Bruce, Agriculture Station Road at La Plaine, Morpo Makator in Grand Bay, Cuba Car Home in Mero, and Grand Riviere also in La Plaine. Government continues to prioritize the rehabilitation of feeder roads to improve access for farmers and residents across the island. Kavya John for the Government Information Service.
Thanks, Kavya, for that report. Government continues to honor its commitment to improving the lives of people of the Salibia constituency. A number of initiatives are being undertaken in the Kalinago territory to ensure that the resilience of the Kalinagos is strengthened. While a number of capital projects, to include the DVRP East Coast Road project and the construction of an emergency shelter, are in the pipelines for the constituency, softer projects are being implemented to aid in the development. One such project is the UNICEF Child Protection Program. The aim of this initiative is to collectively involve the community in strengthening child protection systems across the Kalinago territory.
We're just coming to the end of that program. So we had parenting sessions dealing with child abuse. We also had other training sessions, first aid, leadership consultations. So that itself, we got across to a lot of people in the community, and I can safely say that it was a very successful program.
This project is particularly significant as statistics has shown that the Kalinago territory is top of the charts for child abuse in Dominica.
You might have known that statistically the territory was one of the areas that was always highlighted as being one of the... So the many programs that we have kept, I believe we've kind of saturated the area. So right now I can safely say that there's been a very significant drop, almost zero reported cases at this time of child abuse cases. We have had over 130 people participate in the abuse, child protection, and I believe that being on the ground every day, I believe that the people are now really standing up for what, the values. At one time it was like you and what happened to your child. Today it's you, your neighbor, the entire community looking after children. And
among other activities being undertaken in the Salibia constituency is the beautification project. Last Thursday, workers under the National Employment Program NEP continued the clearing of grass along the Concord Road. 4 bus stops and a wall located in front of the Kalinago Council office will receive facelifts as paint works are expected. Mr. Cyril made mention of other projects in the constituency.
We also have, it's kind of winding down, the UNDP program. Tree planting was part of that program. We also had the formation of a women's group under the PIXA program. Farmers were given farming equipment, water tanks, and other machinery that was used and is still being used for production in that area. Today, we are setting up greenhouses under the very same UNDP program, 10 greenhouses. So they will be used for the production of vegetables and also for the production of seedlings, which will be distributed to people in the community. And also we have the formation of, we know it's the hurricane season. So we've been very much involved in getting our groups ready, our disaster committees, to ensure that, we are ready. So quite a lot of things are happening.
The Salibia constituency has also been a beneficiary of government through the Ministry of Public Works, Public Utilities and the Digital Economy Digital Transformation Project.
Where we have young people are being trained in web page design, programming, and there's also the opportunity of online work.
These initiatives will contribute to the economic well-being of the Kalinagos as job creation is on the rise.
We have the formation of, we know it's the hurricane season. So we've been very much involved in getting our groups ready, our disaster committees, to ensure that, we are ready. So quite a lot of things are happening, as I said. And I can also talk probably from from the party's standpoint too. We have also had a lot of party groups formed in our communities, including LYO, the women's group, and that too is all in ensuring that whatever is happening on the ground is also complemented by the group that will actually implement them. So that too. So we have many things, as I said, taking place in the territory right now.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Aliyah Martin. Thank you for watching.